about like 2-3 hours, sometimes 5 hours earlier than I do the live streams normally. But let's see, because I already have some more appointments from like 4 until 8 or something, so I would not be able to do it until 9 or something, and then I didn't want to do it that late. So maybe for those of you, before anyone starts joining and asking questions, so I just did short videos now everywhere, I've posted it everywhere, about health insurance, the private health insurance, because the prices will be increasing again from February. One thing is that the 20%, 25% off, which we have available from one of the insurance companies now, that offer will expire at the end of January. And also another insurance company we work with, and it's one of the most popular ones, let us know earlier today that they will be increasing prices from February. So now is the best chance for you to get insurance for the prices that are available now from February on, that will be more expensive. So that's the intro, so all of you know, but now it's time for your questions. I'll be here for 20 minutes because at 4 I need to start a call with the potential client. So for the next 20 minutes, I'm yours, or 19 now. So whoever has a question about visas, residence permits, citizenship in the Czech Republic, of course, housing, starting a business, health insurance, everything, please write in the comments or the chat or whatever it's called now here, and I'll be happy to answer those. So Andy, Alamin, hello Jan, hi MD, thank you for joining. Mukesh, I'm on an employee card, lost job, and if I cannot find job within 2 months, what are my options? Leave. That's probably the main option. Now, of course, it depends. Depends on your situation. If you have a standard employee card, not the non-dual because you have free access to the labor market for whatever reason, but if you have a standard employee card, you have 60 days to find a new job and report it to the Ministry of the Interior after you've lost or after you finished in the previous job. If you fail to do that, the employee card will be cancelled at some point, or at least you will not renew it and you will not change the employer after the 60 days anyway. So it will be cancelled, it just depends on when. So if you cannot find a job, the only other option if you want to stay here would be changing your purpose of stay to something else, but it's kind of limited to what you can change. So I see like 2 potential options. One would be family reunification or the partnership visa, for example. If you had a partner or a spouse or someone who lives here and you could get a residence permit based on your relationship. So that would be option number 1. Second option would be apply for a student residence permit. Besides that, not too many options. So I would recommend taking even a job which you don't really like, because that will at least guarantee that you will stay here, or that will guarantee you whatever, you know what I mean. So yeah. Next question. John Gampnia. I have Czech work permit. Is there an appointment available now? Guys, it's always the same. Anytime I do live stream, there is like 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 20 people asking the same question. Most likely you have been scammed, John. I'm sorry to say that, but it's true. It depends, of course, where you're from. But if you're from Africa, basically any country there, or most of the countries in Asia, and especially if you're from India, Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka, around there, makes no sense to pay anyone for a work permit because you will never get an appointment because there are no available appointments. Bijay Bashal, can you tell me how to write email for India Embassy? Ideally, follow the instructions that the embassy shares on their website, because that's the only official way how to do it. But as I mentioned just now, for some agendas, there are no available appointments at all. So if you're trying to get the employee card, like a work permit type of residence permit, you will never do it. And that's like, that must be like millions of crowns, or like billions, yeah, billions maybe, now, whatever. That must be a lot of money there, because every live stream, I get like 10 of these questions. I've done like 100 live streams, so it's probably like 1,000 people I know about, which is probably like 1% of what's happening. And all of you say that I've paid like 2,000, 3,000 euros for a work permit, and now for 17 months I cannot get an appointment. What should I do? Nothing, because you've been scammed and all the documents you've got already expired already. So even if you got an appointment, you will never be able to use the documents anyway. So unfortunately, guys, you should be asking these questions before you pay someone thousands of euros to get you a work permit. You should ask first if you will ever be able to actually get the visa or apply for it at least. MD Alamin, which insurance you are talking about? I cannot share it like this, but if you get in touch, my colleague will be happy to send you all the quotes. I believe like all of the insurance companies kind of check each other, so they are aware of each other's prices. So if one increases the prices, all others will do the same. Then some other company will come and they will reduce the prices, so all the others will follow, and then it's like this. But I cannot say which one it is, because we work with more, and I cannot just like say, okay, this one does this and this one does that, because that would not be fair. But if you get in touch, we'll be happy to send you all the quotes. Christopher Mutunga, hello, do we still have visa appointments in Czech Embassy? I'm from Kenya. I would need to double check. Like for student visas, family reunification visas, generally there are appointments and there are slots. For employee cards, business visas, there are generally no spots. So Oishik Chakraborty, is 17,000 euros enough to show in visa interview for my long-term student visa? Yes. You need equivalent to 120,000 crowns, which would be, I don't know, 5,000 euros, something like that. So 17,000 is more than enough. Prague Home was discouraged and deleted the message. The same with Lorraine. Mahbub Shaikh, I would like to know if I'm traveling from Czechia to India, I should have travel medical insurance. I guess it depends on India, if you need to have any insurance. In the Czech Republic, while you are in the Czech Republic, you always must be insured. So as long as you're in the Czech Republic, you must have insurance. It depends if the same rule applies in India. If yes, then you need to have the insurance there. And then the travel insurance you would be getting is basically just for the trip. So if the plane crashes and you survive and you don't have insurance, then you will die because of the medical bills anyway. But so you basically for the travel, you would be getting just for the traveling. So if there is some, you need to change plane and stuff like that, might be good to have it, because you never know what can happen if you travel like 20 hours. But must have insurance in the Czech Republic. If you're not in the Czech Republic, that depends on the other country if it's mandatory there. John, I'm from Cameroon. I would need to check what are the quotas there, but generally in most African countries, the quotas are very low. So even if you get an employment contract, even if you get a business license and business plan, it's possible that you will never get an appointment. Because it's like, when I say little appointments or not too many, or that's like 70, for example, for the employee card, 70 a year. And for the business visa, it's usually like 8 or 12 or 6, depending on the embassy. So like 6 people a year can apply for a business visa, for example. So it's like very limited amount of spots. Bijay Bashial, can you tell me how to write email for India Embassy for appointment for wife and children at the same time? Again, I would recommend you to follow the procedures of the embassy, because they tell you exactly what you should do, what you should not do, when you should send it, to what email you should send it, if you can attach children to the same email, or you need to separately send the email. So definitely follow the guides of the embassy. Oishik, actually, I want to translate my documents. Can you please guide me? I'm not sure if there is something. Yeah. Well, it would be best for you to do the translation in the Czech Republic, I think, because you need an official translator. So like with a round stamp and like these Czech colors ribbons. So as far as I'm aware, in India, there are no such translators available that would the embassy accept. So we usually do it with our clients the way that you send us the original documents, we get it translated, and we send it back to you with along with all the other documents we've collected. But we don't do this translation just a separate service. We do translations for our clients, but we don't do it separately, that you could send us the documents, we get it translated, and then we send it back to you. So that would be unnecessarily expensive. John, I didn't hear you, sir. I'm from Africa. Is it possible for me to have an appointment in Nigeria? Okay, so okay, you're here, and I have my laptop here, which is very uncommon. So guys, you will watch me type now, and I will tell you Cameroon, no, Nigeria. So just give me a second, I'll tell you the exact numbers, okay? And Nigeria, that's Abuja, right? The capital. So if we go for Abuja, let me tell you the exact numbers. As long as the internet cooperates. Abuja, there are 0 available slots for employee cards. There are 80, but all 80 must go through one of the governmental programs. So there are 0 in Abuja. So you cannot apply for an employee card. For business visa, it's 8. So it's 12, but 4 of those are reserved for a special program. So 8 people a year can apply in Abuja for a Czech business visa, and 0 people a year can apply in Abuja for an employee card. So no, you cannot get an appointment. Prague Home, hello Jan, for family reunification residence permit extension. Can we use VZP public insurance card given by employer, or we have to buy private insurance? If you have a valid public health insurance, that's fine. That's fine. You don't need to buy the private. Yuri Trusi, hello Jan, 2 things, and then there are no things. Lorraine, hello, I'm married to Czech man, and I went to an interview in the Czech Republic embassy in Havana, Cuba, because there is not embassy in my country, and they did request to my husband proof of income and how much money he get per month, in what company he works, if he has debts, how much he pay for that, how much use for, how much per month, a lot of questions to fill. That's kind of weird, because if you're married to a Czech man, you are most likely applying just for a short-term visa, and they should not ask you such questions. Then in the Czech Republic, if you already were here and you were applying for the temporary residency, then they should not ask you these questions either, but they potentially could. But at the embassy, this is too weird. Guess can happen. Depends on the country of origin. And if the marriage sounds like somehow suspicious or whatever, but it's very weird that they would ask all these questions. XYZ, hello, I have submitted my employee card application on 13 January in Plzeň. How long will it take to get the result? I hate these questions, guys. It's like, with the Czech government or the immigration part, they don't care about the timelines. For the employee card, officially they have 60 to 90 days. And honestly, like, frankly speaking, they usually stick to it. Okay, so I would expect the result within 60 to 90 days. But of course, if they send you a letter, request something from you, some documents are missing or incorrect, then the counting of time stops. So the 60 to 90 days don't continue, basically. So it can take way longer even then. But usually for the employee card, they stick to 60 to 90 days. But for any other, for example, extension of the employee card, I've seen applications that should be decided within 60 days take 180 days, because it's not their priority, because you are already here. You can work, you don't need to worry about much. So this is kind of a weird question to answer, because you never know. And also every case is different. So if you and your colleague are from the same country, you're from the same company, you work on the same position, you submit your applications at the same day, at the same branch of the ministry, you can still get approved like with a difference of couple of weeks. It depends on the decision maker and how efficient they are, and like how they handle cases. Someone might get sick or whatever. So we've tested that actually. And 3 people with exactly the same situation living in the same apartment. They were all flatmates. They were like, one of them was completely fine, no problem, everything smooth, easy approval. The other was also approved, but it took longer. And the other one took way longer because the ministry requested plenty of additional documents and it was very, very difficult to get it approved. So even people in the same situation can take different times to get approved. So let's see. MD Alamin, yes, please share privately if possible. Thanks for sharing the valuable info to foreigners. My pleasure, guys. We've been doing this for 13 years, so I'm happy it's still helping. Yuri Trutsi, how can I get the 25% off on the health insurance? Is the renewing partnership visa faster than applying for the first time? Get in touch. Send us your date of birth and for how long you need the insurance, and my colleague will send you all the available options, including the company that offers the 25% off. So get in touch, ideally via email. You can, the best is info@movetoprague.com, because then my colleagues will send it wherever it needs to go. Yeah, so that's it. As for renewing the partnership visa, it's basically the same process. You need to get the same documents together. So this, again, the proofs of your relationship, the proof of your income, accommodation, all that. The thing is that you have like 3 more years. You have 3 more years of relationship. So it's generally more likely to get approved because you have more proof of your relationship. You had it with no problems for 3 years. So I would expect it to be simpler or more sure to get approved. But that doesn't mean that it will be like easier or shorter, let's say. Mohammed Imran, bro, I'm Indian, but more time appointment, not slot at the movement from Kuwait, please. Can you give solution? Not really, because sometimes there are just no appointments. So if there are no appointments, you cannot get any. That's as simple as that, unfortunately. XYZ, how check my employee card application status detailedly? How FRS just shows under process. You cannot check it. You could go to the Ministry of the Interior and ask in person, but they will not really tell you anything which the decision maker didn't write into the system, and they usually don't write there much. So you cannot find out more. And anyway, I believe you mentioned you applied in January, so it's still January, so I would not expect to have much news there anyway. Abu Bakar Badru, how are you? I'm good, how are you? Saujan, Hungana, hi, how are you? Good. And the question here, please make video how to take visa appointments from Nepal also. I did a video about how to get appointments in India. So go to my channel. I don't know how you get there. You need to click somewhere. I don't see what you see and I don't know where you need to click. But you click somewhere, and when you go for the search part there, just search for appointment and it will show you. I've done a video about appointments in India, but in some cases there are just no available appointments, so you cannot get any. Ismail, so 2 last questions, or one actually, that will be from Ismail Hassanzadeh, because I will need to finish the live stream in a minute or so, because my next appointment is at 4. So, last question. Ismail Hassanzadeh, hello Jan, I'm currently studying bachelor in Czech. If I also study masters, will I be eligible for permanent residency? No. Well, I mean, it depends. If it's a private school, non-accredited, maybe. But if it's an accredited program, Czech university, you have the proper student residence permit with the 23 or 24 code, you have free access to the labor market, all that, then the student years count as half. So as a student, if you studied the whole time, you would need to study for 10 years to qualify for the permanent residency, because student years are counted as half. And that nicely concludes the live stream, 20 minutes. Last question. So Mohammed, thank you. Notice me, bro. And Sawian, okay, thanks for letting me know. Guys, you're welcome. I also thank you for being here and asking the questions, because without that, the live stream would be pretty boring. And I will see you again Monday, Thursday, until the end of the world. Goodbye, good night, good afternoon.